It's okay. Quick introduction about me. I'm a French person, as you can hear, coder, teacher, and artist. Quick intro about my background. I used to be a motion designer back in the days, like 12 years ago. Then somehow I went into creative coding and did that for 10 years. And recently I went into artistry full time. Artist. For quite some time I refused to call me like that because I had a technical job and it was a bit weird for me to call myself an artist, but everyone was pushing like, yeah, William, you're an artist, blah, 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 blah. I was like, nah, I just do my stuff on the side. And then the NFT community came into the soup and was really pushing me forward to make stuff and deliver and empower me really. And at some point I was like, okay, maybe people like my shit. That's cool. So yeah, I guess I'm an artist after all. But one question that I constantly asked to myself is, what defines me as an artist? I think it's a very, very important question for every artist. And for now, I think my answer to that question is my obsessive curiosity. Like I'm obsessed to discovering, making new stuff all the time. I can't do only one thing at a time. Maybe I have attention disorder, I don't know, you tell me. But yeah, like, colors, I fucking love colors, mixing, applying, I don't know, it just, colors is so emotional that, I don't know. Stitching, why not? La photography, weaving, pottery, why not play dog? It's not for children. And then yeah, you can do stop motion with play dog, and why not make everything in 3D? And then again, 3D, make a picture, make it in 3D, break it, whatever. So this is not my Instagram feed, but I think it shows how much I like materiality, textures, and color. Oh yeah. Boop, boop. So generative art, the juicy stuff. I didn't know this term for a long time. For a long time, I was making stuff with code and hoping for the best that it's beautiful. But at some point in my life, I started to feel more connected to art and go to the museums, to go to the exhibitions, the fancy vernissage, free food, free beers. You know it, we all go for that. And at some point, I stumbled onto those pieces, like from Moore, Knees, and Nake. Those persons are considered as pioneers in the generative art space. So what is generative art? Generative art, I'll ask Wikipedia. Generative art refers to art that in whole or in part has been created with the use of an autonomous system. And then you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, to be honest, my day-to-day looks like this. I do some stuff on keyboard and it outputs something on the screen. So that's my daily, routine. But let's make a simpler example without an S. There's only one example, I don't know why I put an S. In 30 seconds. So generative art is not only about computers, it's mostly about randomness and systems. So you can take a piece of paper, a pencil, you write some rules, you take a dice, So the rules here are take 2 dice, roll them. It will define the starting point and the end point of a segment within a square. And then repeat that instruction for the whole grid. So you can see here, I'm rolling the dice every time to trace the segments. And last rules is the segments can't cross each other. And then I don't know why I didn't copy paste. I just did it again for some reason. Maybe I'm dumb, but I did it again for the color part. So yeah, did it again. Then grab some colors, fill your grid as you want, color theory, all the stuff, and voila, you have some generative art. As I like to say, I like to expect the unexpected as a generative artist. It's all about, generative art is all about randomness and emergence at its core. You have to introduce some chaos into your systems to be able to be surprised by them. Otherwise, it's just you making, expecting stuff, I guess. So for example, here, I draw some squares, and then where the squares intersect, I say, yeah, put some colors, and then the next frame, maybe diffuse the colors, and it gives some shit I wasn't expecting. And I think that's the beauty of it. So yeah, cool. Yeah, the NFT, right? Okay. NFTs. So how was my first experience with NFT, the NFT space? It was in 2020. I was still doing my own stuff on my keyboard, on my little corner, posting on Twitter, and some guys came into my DMs and were like, "Yeah, can you mint this?" I was like, "Mint it? What do you mean?" You have to realize that I didn't know any of this shit back in 2020. Like, it was completely another language for me. So my reaction was to, hide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bye. But then in 2021, I was like, yeah, let's get into NFTs. And with this platform called Ink and Nunk, if I say it right, nobody knows. And it was so wild, like so fresh. And the world generative artist community really went full speed into it for some reason. And even me, but it was quite a challenge to mint, to be honest. It was like an adventure. You even had like a tutorial in 17 steps, to just mint one piece on this platform. So you really have to want it, to mint the piece. So you click a bunch of buttons, blah blah blah. Click, enter your name, then sync, pop in, confirm. Yeah, click here, confirm the wallet prompt again. Then yeah, go to there, click sync again, confirm wallet prompt. Number of copies, mint it, and then hopefully, normally, you have your mint. And this was my first NFT. And it was weird for me at the time to sell an image. I didn't really grasp the full concept of it. But people were really into it, like, yeah, we're gonna buy this stuff. I was like, yeah, okay. And they did. They sold out, and I was like, okay, like people like my shit. Whoa, okay, maybe I should do more. And I did do more a couple of times. So at that time, it was really generative art was about making stuff on your computer, output something like an image, a video, a GIF, whatever you want. GIF, I don't know. But what's next? What's next after that? There's something we call long-form generative art. So now that's a whole new paradigm that we have to deal with. I first heard of it via Tyler Hobbs. And we can see his work behind called Fidenza. So really the new formula with generative art, long form, is to be directly generated on the blockchain. It's not you generating something on the side and put it on the platform and mint it. You make a generative script, you send it to the blockchain, and then it will generate on the fly, on demand, 10, thousands, X number of outputs. So it's really a new paradigm for us generative artists because we don't have any creation on what will be the outputs. We can decide, okay, I like this output, maybe I will sell it. No, now we upload something and hope for the best, there is no bug. So that's pretty wild for us and intense, I have to say. With this concept, I made 2 series. The first one is called Dragons. It was made back, I think, in November 2021, if I remember correctly. And it was hosted on the platform FXhash. FXhash is a platform where you can upload. It's an open platform, so anyone can upload a script and sell it and generate thousands of outputs. This one generated 512 outputs. And really, I was able to grasp the difficulty of long-form generative art. You really have to work your script to output 500 times beautiful stuff. It's really hard, like really hard. A couple more. And with FXhash, the cool thing is it's not fully on-chain. So you can have assets like images, sound, I don't know, AI model, whatever you want, and use it into your script. You don't, so it's quite helpful. And the series got a huge success for some reason, I don't know. And it kept me going. I wanted to go deeper into the blockchain. So let's go deeper. My second series was Anticyclone. And it was stored on the platform Artblocks. So here we have a whole new level of complexity because unlike FXhash, you don't have any access to any resources. You can't have images, you can't have sound, you can have nothing. So everything you see on this platform is made of code. So for me, who love like textures and colors and materiality, it was a struggle, a challenge, and really a hard thing to achieve what I wanted to communicate. But it turned out great, I think. And I made a couple. It was 800 of editions. So is this the future of generative art, the long form thing? I really hope not, because here's some statistics about Anticyclone. It was 6 months of work on a single thing. I mean, this is a lot of time. Because I wanted, to have a huge editions, but also a huge variety into the series. It took me 250 parameters to tweak to be able to have this brand variety across the series. And it means if you move one parameter, something else falls down on the other side. So it's always something you have to maintain somehow to, it's a bit tough, but we can get there. Yeah, because every single output has to be good. I generated 50,000 of outputs during the 6 months to review. Like every day, I think maybe 500 I was generating at the time. And every time an output wasn't good or good enough, I was going back to the algorithm and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. And this took 6 months. And really frustrating thing with this series is that within those folders and folders of images, I have so many things that didn't show up with the 80-100 mins that I feel a bit sad about it. Like I made all this work and it didn't show up at the end of the day. So yeah, I strongly hope that long-form generative art won't be the standard for our practice. But it's really a good thing, and I think it's moving us forward. But yeah, we still have handpicking generative art, and I think it's here to stay. With handpicking, cherry picking, like we say, you can really convey your vision. You can work on something for months and just tweak a single output to just say what you want exactly. So let me show you another work. This is the last work I'll show you, I promise. Called Murmure d'un carré. In English, it's Whispers of a Square. And the whole concept was about making a square speak on the screen. Yeah, weird, I know. It was inspired by a famous poem from Paul Verlaine called Je devine à travers un murmure, in English, I guess through a whisper. So that was my first output. So I was drawing a square and make it morph, make it move along the screen for like 30 seconds and see what happened. Use vivid colors because I love colors. And it turned okay, but it wasn't quite close to the concept I wanted to convey. So I kept working on it. So those ones, it was a bit more subtle. So I just, instead of filling the shapes, I was using outlines for the shapes. But still, it wasn't, the click. So I kept working. I was like, oh, maybe this is the colors. Yeah, let's remove the colors. And then it was way much more closer to what I wanted to convey. Really a square whispering, its existence. So this is the process, the painting process for the curious. So I have a square that I will throw across the screen. Sometimes it will fill the square, sometimes it will just use outlines. And after some times, you have the piece. And this is the final output that I created at the end. So I still wanted a bit of color, but not so much with subtype. So I could really say, okay, for this output, I want a really tiny bit touch of color. So put it in some places, here and here, and this is what came out. So, what to remember from all the blah, blah, blah I just said? Some takeaways. stay curious. I mean, I think curiosity is something as artists we should never forget. I think it's our strongest ability. The NFT space really put some light on generative art, and I'm so thankful for it. You know, like randomness, emergence. I think it's really compatible with the blockchain. So I think the blockchain can help us move forward with generative art. That's pretty obvious, but it's really important to know where you put your art out there. If it's like Tesos, Ethereum, whatever, just be sure to have an audience for it. Be water, my friend. Like stay fluid. If a random pixelated guy come to your Twitter DMs, don't avoid it yet. Just enable the conversation. Make friends. It's really important to not be alone. As an artist, I realize I am a lot alone, and having friends that understand what you say and what you want to say is really important. And more important, they can support each other. So, yeah, community is really a powerful thing. Make shit that you won't enjoy, because it's all about that at the end of the day. If you don't enjoy what you do, just you should change something. And don't be me. Don't underestimate you. You got this. Thank you.